Most people see this as a broken coffee maker. I see it as a one-way ticket to a Star Wars trash bashing project. Today, we're gutting this caffeine machine and turning it into the galaxy's grimiest speeder repair shop. So grab yourself a hydro spanner and a cup of Jawa juice, you awesome geek, because we're about to build something out of nothing. Outside of selecting a part from the coffee maker, I'll be honest, I didn't really have a plan. This was very much one of those I'm winging it projects. I did, however, have this speeder toy from The Last Jedi that I picked up in a bargain bin from my local supermarket. This was several years back, and the cockpit is a nearly perfect fit for this coffee maker part that I'm using. I also have zero issue with cutting up and modifying toys to fit my purposes, with these kinds of builds especially. Now once I've managed to sort out the main components, it's time to get very sophisticated with the architectural arrangement of this project. Or put another way, holding up a bunch of crap in different ways to make it look interesting without any clue about how I'm going to mount or secure these items in place. For most of this pit project, I'm using XPS foam for the landscaping. This little addition we're doing here is no different. Simple techniques with a box cutter or razor knife, then a combination of using an actual rock to help texture the foam, as well as a small ball of aluminum foil for additional finer texture.
I just wanted to point out that I've done a fair bit more as far as sculpting foam than I thought I was going to do, and I didn't film any of it. I do want to point out, this looks a little odd as far as the rock work is concerned. It's a very squared bottom, and then there's just sections of rock, and that's because the way this is going to sit in the pit is roughly here. But the challenge is, I don't know exactly where this particular piece will end up in the bigger picture. So I'm going to bring out some Sculptamold. I'm going to treat the foam so we can paint it, but I'm not going to take it much until I move it into the actual pit project. And then we'll be able to tie in and make it all feel like it belongs in that environment. All right, I might be over obsessing a little bit, but I was trying to figure out the best way for our little crane to sit here. I have this from an old project. Bonus points if you can figure out where that came from. It kind of fits perfectly right here on the edge. I could then put this crane right here. I'm gonna epoxy that.
The great thing about this toy that I found is it has several interesting parts that I could cut up, dismantle, and then arrange throughout this piece. The other parts I didn't use from the toy will come in handy with other projects along the way.
Yeah, I like that. A little bit of styrene. Do some panelization work here. Put a little panel right down in here. Clean that edge up just a hair. I think we'll do a panel here as well. Glue that in place, and then we'll just make the bend there. I'm gonna pull out the nibbler. The nibbler allows us to do some cool little notches in this. Okay, I glued on a little doodad right here. That's one of my custom designs, and added a little bit there too. So what I need is some stairs from here to here, and I found some pieces of a model ship. They actually made a doorway. They've got kind of a cool stair-looking shape to them. And so I've got a plastic evergreen dowel just glued into the bottom. Let's just not overdo this, huh? Let's just take it easy. Set them in here, like so. All we need is a little. Well, that wasn't a little, that was a lot. I said all we needed was a little. And I used a ton of that too. My God, hammerhead. That's not bad. That's not bad. I would walk up those stairs. This guy right here, that's a hell of a step, but we'll figure something out. Not OSHA approved, but maybe we could put a railing on there. And I've got a sprue. Might be kind of interesting. Okay. I've been overthinking this little corner here way too much. The platform that leads up to the crane. What I've done is I've taken a sprue. I'm gonna just kind of set it up here in place, like a little makeshift ladder with a railing next to it. I feel like, you know, they wouldn't really have a whole lot of OSHA regulations on stepping over the edge and crawling up the ladder. And I think that is going to be enough for me. No one is ever really going to see the interior, but I did want to fill it just in the off chance that someone did look inside it. What I did was I took some 3D printed parts that I have from some other projects. I'm going to glue these in place, and then I'm going to spray that, and then we can put a little weathering on it. This guy's a little wonky, but it'll work. I just wanted a spot where I could slide it in there, and that works for what I want to do. And then I bent a couple others to make some simple pipes. And I apologize, I made a couple of small little details. I took some styrene and I glued on some little pieces of model kit, Same thing with this guy right here. There's another one in the back here, just little boxes. Everything so far has a zenithal highlight on it, and that was to kind of give me an idea of how things are shaping up and how they're looking and where we want more details. But right now I'm just going to take some of this styrene tubing and make some more tubes and lay that stuff in here, see what else we can do.
Okay, now we're going to go in with a little oil wash. We're not going to use this audio because it sounds like I'm about to die.
For our larger pit project, all the rocks have a similar color palette, and then the oil washes are what really bring the overall looks of those other formations together. It also helps to tone down the airbrush work I did before. One big key here, however, is that you want to clear seal the project you're working on before you add the wash. The paint thinner used to make the wash can sometimes pull up the underlying paints. This is one of those projects that really satisfies my creativity. Yes, we use lasers, 3D printers, and all kinds of other high-tech tools around here, but we also very much enjoy these types of projects where you utilize whatever you have available to create something interesting. The scale of the pit project is one that I see taking many years to complete, but I also see it as a project where we will use a lot of different building methods and materials to make it come to life. And I really like that type of creativity. I've been thinking a lot about an upcoming project for the pit that combines this kind of scratch building techniques we used here, along with 3D printing and a few other tools. It's going to be a great project and a very unique way to combine two different styles of crafting into one. I think you'll find this approach very interesting, but you'll have to wait until the next time we build something out of nothing.